We have this nice area of consolidation. After this area of consolidation went to the downside, tapped into our demand zone, 4 hours demand zone, started going to the upside, missed this move. Right now, what I'm waiting for is, we are recording, right? Yes, we are. Perfect. What I'm waiting for is, after this clear rejection perfectly after touching the demand area, is just some type of retracement in order to enter my trade. Of course, we will look for confirmations down here. Without fibs, I will definitely say that I could look into this demand area down here in order to enter. At the moment, of course, we don't want to jump in right here at these prices, as we are too much up, at least for an intraday movement. If it's for swing trading, or a position that you will hold maybe for a couple of months, because in my opinion gold will go way higher, then yes, you can enter right now. You didn't miss the whole move, as I believe that we are supposed to create new all-time highs above these highs. So because of that, you can enter right here. You're still in time. Now, if I'm going to the 1 hour and we are looking for intraday movements, then no, this is not our entry. This is too late. We want to wait for a retracement, and we want to wait for a retracement to enter right here. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Someone asked. So gold, just waiting. Of course, there could be some selling opportunities as we are in a downtrend, but I believe that after this fake out to the downside and this rejection, I'm kind of more bullish compared to bearish, actually. Just to look at some zones where we could reject to go to the downside. All right, so we definitely have to consider this zone right here, which was mitigated already once with this move before dropping. So it's not the best zone to take a look at. Higher zones, we have this one, which was already mitigated again by this move. So we went to the downside, came back to the upside, mitigation, continuation to the downside. So it's not really a fresh zone, okay? We have a question in the chat. 1810 zone, 1810, yeah, higher, yeah, well, because we could target that zone. I mean, if we're long, we're waiting for a retracement, we can target 1810. But right now I'm looking at possible areas right here where we will stop for a retracement. So I would say this area, not really one of my favorite areas, as it was mitigated already. Same for this one. It could hold. Keep in mind that these areas can hold even if they are being tested or mitigated already once, but it's just not my favorite setup when we have mitigated already those areas. 15 minutes. Let me delete this thing right here. And this is our higher time frames point of interest. So on lower time frames, we want to follow this trend. We need to understand that the general order flow on lower time frames is creating these higher highs and higher lows. Therefore, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now, if we are continuing this order flow, we need to reject this demand and continue going to the upside. Now, it's kind of late as the uptrend already started, so we might or might not hold it and then continue. If the order flow is changing, we are expecting a deeper pullback, and maybe after that, we will continue to the upside. Now, let me show you what I mean. We, yes, do have one. We have this lower one. This is why supply and demand by itself, I don't think is the best option just by itself, because you have many supply and demand areas, just like this. Perfect. So this is the same thing. Breakout structure to the upside right here, waiting for a retracement, for the retracement to continue. Now, the only problem with this, like with this setup right here, is that one thing is if you miss the entry at the top, and you're waiting for the retracement and you're trying to sell right here. And then there is the breakout structure and you're trying to sell here. But then if you are again trying to sell right here the third time, there are of course less chances that this trade will hold the supply and will continue to profit, because of course after a long uptrend we might have a bigger retracement in a direction. So here you have your breakout structure, possibly supply, right, for continuation to the downside and for a continuation to the downside right here. But again, as the downtrend or uptrend goes on, we are getting closer to a deeper pullback, okay? And therefore, we will not hold your supply anymore. Now, this could be the case. That's why I'm not so confident about this right now. Would have been different if it was like right here. Like this supply, we have the retracement continuation. This is only the second time that we are continuing for the uptrend. Now this maybe could be kind of late and we could have a bigger retracement moves. So when we have a one-sided market and it is going only in one way, like in this case right here. So in the range right here, the price is balanced, okay? Balanced, and then we have a strong momentum into one direction, and here it is not balanced anymore. How do we notice it? We take the candle before and the candle after a big move, and if there are no wicks that are covering the big candle, then that area is imbalanced. So from here to at the beginning was here, and then with the candle after it became here. This is all an imbalance area, okay? This is our imbalance area. Now, how do we trade imbalances? There are some people who trade and they enter a trade, for example, here they will enter a buy to target the imbalance, but we need to keep in mind that imbalance areas, and this is a common mistake, they might be filled after weeks or after months. So we don't want to enter to target those areas. We want to wait for those areas. We want to find, for example, a supply area right here. This is supply, okay? And we have the imbalance with above the imbalance a supply. So we want to wait for the price to fill the imbalance, touch the supply, and that could be a good confirmation to sell and continue to the downside, since we are filling the imbalances left behind. Now, an example of a filled imbalance, if we go back here we had an imbalance. We had this push to the upside, one-sided market with the week before and week after that are not covering the candle. So this is an imbalance. We keep going. And look what happens. We fill the imbalance, and I think we fill all of it. Yeah, we fill the imbalance. Okay, perfect. We fill the whole imbalance. Down here we had this demand area. Well, we didn't really touch it, but anyway, this would be the perfect setup. Imbalance area, filling the imbalance area, touching the demand. In this case, we didn't touch, but I would just say this would be perfect. Touching the demand, going to the upside after filling the imbalance. We are not selling here to target the imbalance. We are waiting for the imbalance to be filled to continue to the upside if all other factors are still in place, okay?